Well, we've got a short week, so it's back to work. A lot of things to work on to find ways to improve. That's what we're addressing now. And that's a football season, so you got to adjust to what's happening. You got to improve on weaknesses. You got to work through it. So we're going to work hard to get better this week. Got a good opponent. It's playing some good football. They started off really hot and had a couple close wins that they didn't end up winning that easily could have. So we got to go on the road and find a way to win, and it'll be a really good ball game.
Jeff, kind of a two-part question. I guess how much live tackling do you guys do in practice, and also are some of the things that you're seeing in games showing up in practice as far as some of those defensive mistakes?
Well, we've worked a lot of tackling the last couple of weeks, to be quite honest with you. Now, we don't do a ton of live tackling during the season to the ground. You can't risk too many injuries, but we do numerous drills to simulate that. Obviously, we need to continue to emphasize that and tweak it and try to work on as much as we can. It showed up late in the game, for sure, getting guys to the ground and wrapping up. So we got to continue to address that. Your next question was what again?
It was about just are you seeing some of those mistakes in practices?
You know what, we've actually practiced pretty well, to be quite honest with you. They've been into it. We've worked hard at talking and addressing the things that we think we have not been as good at as we need to be. We just got to continue to get better at it. And we're a little banged up from this past game with some guys not being able to go, so we got to just continue to work through it and have good practice this week. But for sure, we'll address it and work on it this week again.
Jeff, what approach can you take to try to head off any lingering effects from that loss Saturday? What do you do to combat that?
Well, the only thing you do is, we address this situation all year long. And when you go through a football season, if you're not prepared for the ups and downs going into it, then it's going to catch you off guard. You're not going to be able to adjust. So we talk about simple things that it's got to be a one-game season. Once you get to the season, no matter whether you win or lose, you got to learn from it and move on and get better. You got to get ready for the next one. And no matter what your record is, you're expected to win the next game. And so you got to have that mentality going in. I think we have. We've talked about it. We've had chances to win the games that we've lost, and we've had chances to win a couple games that we found a way to win. So being better each week is the goal. Improving on some things that show up every week that stand out is the goal. So we will address it and continue to try to improve and try to win by 1 point this week when we go on the field. But we want to try to play as clean a game as we can and be better at some of the mistakes we've made.
Jeff, do you have an injury update on Jamar Johnson?
He'll be out for the year.
Ankle?
Yes.
Jeff, when you look at Boston College offensively, what challenges do you see that they're going to present for you guys?
Well, they've done a good job. They started hot with a big win against Florida State. They played Missouri right down to the wire. Had the lead on Virginia, let it slip away. They're well coached. Coach O'Brien's been there and done that. Coach at the highest level. They play hard-nosed football. They got a quarterback that can run and throw. That's presented us problems. They've been better on defense than they have been in the past. So it's a good football team. And a lot of guys we got to contain. It starts with the quarterback, and we've got to find ways to have some balance on offense and score points.
Jeff, it seems like after a couple of these games, you have felt like the plan was to be aggressive going in. That wasn't executed in the game as far as play calls. Is that from a player standpoint? Is that from a caller standpoint?
I think it's a combination of everything. We all need to be better to a certain degree. We talked about being aggressive on a certain side of the ball, and maybe we weren't as much as we would like. Sometimes you get in a game and you see what's happening and you kind of just pull back. So we just kind of have to continue to work on having that mentality of putting our players in the best position to succeed, having aggressiveness when we do it, knowing when to maybe pull back on the aggressiveness. But yes, we want to be as aggressive as we can in all three segments, and we've got to just continue to execute better. We've got to continue to carry through with that plan, once the game starts. And, we'll work hard this week to get that done.
Yeah, when you go back and look at the three you lost, they're all by 7 points. Is there one thing that really ties them all together, or there've been two or three different things that have caused an issue?
Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things, we've discussed already, but we want to make sure, in offense, we're being aggressive, we're executing, we're moving the football, we're not having a bunch of negative plays and penalties, and we're trying to score points. And, somewhat, we've had some good moments, and others we've been okay. Special teams, I thought we found a way to gain an edge. We faked a punt, we got a return for a touchdown, it's a huge advantage. Defensively, you know what, we didn't play our best. I think it's you've got to be aggressive in your calls, you've got to be lined up and set when the ball snapped, you got to let those guys play. And we got to be sharper on our execution. And when we do make certain calls, we know what it is, we need to be in the right spot at the right time. Sometimes that doesn't happen. We've got to have some vocal leadership on defense and some guys that are communicating, taking the bull by the horn, and saying we're going to get this done. So I just think all of us need to continue to work through some things that have not gone well, address it, work hard at improving on it, because every little thing matters. And just, in some of the losses, we haven't been good enough overall to get it done, and that falls on me, and we've got to be better at it.
Jeff, you had a bunch of these last year. This is your only weeknight game this year. Does that add any juice to a week when you're going to be the only game on, and there are other recruiting advantages to it? Everybody get to see it. I know it's not at high school football, but still.
Well, you know what, I don't mind playing during the week. We used to do it a lot here. We had a lot of success with it. It was a lot of fun. You're on TV, and it's a fun time to play. So for us going on the road, it'll be a challenge, just a shorter week. And like I said, we were a little more nicked up in this game than we have in a while. It was a physical game, and they found a way to win in the end. But every game is important. Every game you got to try to win. Every game matters, and no matter what your record is, every game matters. So this is an important game, and really, you can be judged all you want during the season. That's fine. You're going to be judged at the end of the season of where you're at, what your record is, and how you've done. So we've got to continue to grind this thing out and work hard, and that'll have to display some toughness to get it done, mental toughness and physical toughness. But that's why you play. That's why you coach, and this will be a good challenge, and we're looking forward to seeing how we stack up.
Anything else? Okay. All right. Yes, Coach.
Real quick, just about Thomas Castellanos, what have you seen from him, and how are you guys working to another mobile quarterback?
Well, he presents challenges, and we've got to have a really good plan. We've got to execute it. We've got to be conscious of his athleticism with the ball in his hands, and they do a great job with him. They'll run him, he'll pull it on the zone read, he can scramble. Even though we had one of our better games last year against BC, just because we were hitting on all cylinders on offense, he made a lot of plays. If the game was closer, it would have been a different story. And he definitely keeps them in the ball game, and they rely on his strengths, and he's a really good weapon, and he'll be tough to defend. So we gotta step up to the plate, and we gotta play a good football game, and try to limit his effectiveness. Excuse me, I kind of didn't say that right, but we gotta limit how good he plays against us, and we gotta get better on defense. And this is a game that will challenge us to do that, and I'd like to see us improve.
In addition to Johnson, are there any other guys that aren't going to be able to play this week?
Oh, it's probably easier if you ask me names. Yeah, there are going to be some guys that are out. Yeah.
One more. Because Ken has one more.
Is Lacey at the point where kind of you're starting to see now what you expected to see from him this season? He's kind of close to 100%.
Well, we did want to be a little cautious getting him back, because he came back early from a collarbone surgery. It was against Notre Dame. He was just cleared. So we were a little cautious of using him too much. We got him now returning a lot of kicks. He's done a great job. He just really is a strong runner. He's fearless. He goes hard. He has a good knack of catching the football when it's around him. He's somebody we just got to utilize, and I just think every game, if we can continue to make sure the ball's in his hands numerous times, he can help us win. He competes, he plays hard, and I think he's done a really good job, and I can see him continue to get better for us.
Thank you, Coach.